Hey guys, today I brought out a handgun that I think is kind of neat, so I wanted to share it with you. This was loaned to me by a friend, one of the guys I work with, and he actually loaned me the SIG P226, and this is his SIG Pro 2009. So what's kind of cool about this is this was Sig Sauer's first attempt at a polymer handgun, and the first 50,000 of these were made in Neuhausen, Switzerland, and so they do not say Sig Sauer, they only say SIG SP2009. And here in the frame, I doubt the camera will pick it up, but it says if you have one of these or run across one of these, you'll know it's one of the first 50,000 because right here it says frame made in Switzerland. Shortly after that first production of 50,000 of the frames, the lowers, all the machining and tooling was moved to Germany, and it became the SIG Pro 2022, which is the model that most people know. What kind of put them on the map, around 2003, the French Ministry of Interior at that time did the largest single order for handguns since World War II. They ordered the SIG Pro 2022, 270,000 of them to outfit their police force and everything in France. One of the things that's neat is, you know, SIGs are kind of pricey. So the SIG 2009, I don't know, I haven't really researched if you can find many of these. Like I said, there were 50,000 made in Switzerland, then it became the SIG 2022. But I know you can find the SIG 2022. The great thing about it is I've seen them as low as $360 brand new in the box. So it's kind of a less expensive SIG. Most of your SIGs are pretty pricey, as most of you know if you've priced a SIG. So a little bit about the handgun, then I'll start shooting. It is a one-piece machine slide, is the nitride finish that SIG uses. It's a good finish with the polymer lower. Some of the differences on the 2022 is they wanted a loaded chamber indicator, which this does not have a loaded chamber indicator. They wanted Picatinny rails. This does not have the Picatinny rails. The trigger on this is kind of a, I like it, it's a wide, smooth trigger. The trigger on the 2022s is a little bit narrow, a little bit more narrow than this trigger. This is a double to single action. All right, so when you start out with this handgun, if you load the handgun, load around in the chamber, what you want to do is the decock lever, go ahead and lower that hammer. That'll allow you to lower the hammer, obviously without discharging the round, and that's the way you carry the handgun. There's no other external safety. When you draw the weapon and you fire it, you know, double action, it's about a 10-pound pole, maybe 10 and a half. Once you fire it, it's going to cycle into single action. So this is a double to single action. Single action pole is not bad. It's about 4.5 pounds. The magazines, you can get high capacity magazines. The magazines I have are 210 rounders, so similar to that 226 that I borrowed. I will have to reload magazines throughout the video, but I'm going to cut that out of the film, so you know, hopefully it'll be smooth, you won't see it. The magazine release itself, I think it's reversible. I'm not sure. It appears to be reversible. I'm a left-handed pistol shooter, so also with the slide stop, it's not ambidextrous. It's single-sided only, but it's not a big deal. I just work with it. The ammunition I'm using today. Okay, so I'm using the Fiocchi 124 grain 9mm. I've used this ammo before. It seems like good quality range ammo. I haven't had any issues with it, so knock on wood, I won't today. So what I want to do is I'll readjust the camera just a little bit, and I've never fired this handgun, so I want to fire a couple magazines at these close-in silhouettes to kind of get a feel for it. And the silhouettes themselves are about 5 yards, a little over 8 yards, and just under 11 yards, the first three silhouettes. All right, so let me adjust the camera and we'll get started. So at the close ones, it seems pretty accurate. I was aiming at the little bolt that holds the silhouette on. I'm going to shoot a couple more in here just to continue to get a feel of the handgun. Alright, so I adjusted the camera. I'm going to shoot at these intermediate targets. The two gongs are about 11 yards. The first black silhouette's a little over 16, and the second black silhouette's a little over 26. Round magazines go too fast. Alright, I'm going to go out to my kind of long range set of targets. The first one out there is the third black silhouette as you're looking at it. The first one in my long range set. It's a little over 41 yards. The next one's a little over 53. The next one's a little over 62. And then the last one's a little over 77. Something that's interesting too is the manual for this handgun says that the max effective range is 50 meters, which is a little over 54 yards. So it'd be the fourth black silhouette as we're looking out there, or the second silhouette on my longer range set. I'm going to go out to that 53, or about the max effective range. All right, I'm going to go out to the 62 plus yard. Alright, so I zoomed in on the 77 yards so that maybe you can actually see if I hit it. You'll see where it's hitting. And you should be able to see the 62 yard a little clearer, but right now I'm going to fire at that 77. Alright, let's pull back from there. You know what, I'm going to go ahead and readjust the camera, completely pick it up and move it so that we get a better angle at these close and intermediate range targets. Alright guys, so I'm going to fire a little more at the close and intermediate targets. I'm going to go ahead and lower the hammer and start off double action. Lower the hammer again. Alright, I think that's going to wrap it up, guys. Let me go ahead and adjust the camera. Okay guys, I'm going to wrap up this video. And so I fired around 300 rounds through the handgun, and I did not have a single failure of any type during today's shooting. The handgun was clean when my friend loaned it to me, so all I did was kind of lube it before I started firing to make sure that that wouldn't be an issue. And like I said, not a single malfunction. I think this is a pretty good option for someone out there looking for a lower priced SIG. The polymer frame, you know, versus the alloy frame, there's huge price difference. Like I said, I've seen the SIG Pro 2022s for, I thought I saw one for $360 brand new in box. I know I saw a couple for like $380. So it's definitely a really good option. Someone looking for a SIG and doesn't want to pay the higher price. The only thing I don't think I pointed out on the handgun was it has the typical SIG bar dot sights. So it has kind of a vertical bar at the rear and the dot at the front. You know, it's typical if you shoot SIG. That's the sights. You can change those out. You don't have to keep them if you don't like them. And Ben, thank you again for letting me borrow it. I really enjoyed it, and I will clean it. You know, I did put 300 rounds through it, so I'm not gonna just bring it back to you dirty. Alright guys, I think that's about it for today. As usual, I had a lot of fun, and I will see you guys next time.